The world of animation has continually evolved and adapted with the rise of technology. From using simple inventions like the flipbook, to painting on cells, we finally arrived in the digital era, granting us computing power with the ability to animate. This period of time in animation may seem standard, but much has happened in this brief history that allows us to enjoy incredible animation today. My name is Brandon, and in this video, I'll be taking a look at the emergence of 3D computer animation through animated films. To start, we should go back to the 1930s and take a look at what experimental artist Mary Ellen Butte was doing. Butte was interested in the relationship between light and sound. Using an oscilloscope to make most of her films, the device allowed her to manipulate light into certain shapes. In her 1938 film titled Synchrony No. 4 Escape, Butte experiments with light and sound, creating layers of shapes synchronized with music. While the oscilloscope could create interesting geometry, it was limited in its ability to create a third dimension, making it difficult to use for further animation. Its importance lay in its early use of electronics as a tool for art, which would inspire and create a path for many more to explore. One person who explored this route was John Whitney, a tinkerer out of California who was excited by the kind of art that could be produced when created through a mechanical process. Using retired World War II equipment, Whitney created his own analog computer, which he used to make his 1961 film, Catalog. Like Butte, Whitney experiments with light and sound, but there is a major difference between their work. Whitney displays a technique, although then unknown to him, in which shapes seem to transform or change from one to another. This technique is called in-betweening, or morphing. It displayed the potential for 3D animation. While Whitney is on the frontier of computer development, Peter Folds is furthering computer animation as an art form at the National Film Board of Canada. Folds was intrigued by in-betweening, a key framing technique that allowed lines to produce movement by shifting from one pose to another. His film Metadata, made in 1971, explores this a bit as we see morphing and small traits of its ability to represent a third dimension. By the time Folds made his 1974 film, Hunger, his ability to use morphing is greatly improved. It showed clear signs that 3D animation would be possible within computers. While morphing is exploring the movement of 3 dimensions, Ed Catmull and Fred Park are making 3D animation a reality. During their time as students at the University of Utah, Catmull and Park created a short film called A Computer Animated Hand. The film highlights the process of creating the 3-dimensional hand and displays movement of the model as well. This 3D animation not only broke ground from a technical aspect, but marks the point in which 3D animation emerges in mainstream cinema. This hand would later be featured in Richard Heffron's Future World, becoming the first 3D animation in mainstream cinema. And although a small portion of the film, it bridged the gap between cinema and computers. In 1982, The first completely 3D computer animated film was created by Philippe Bergeron, Nadia Thalmann, and Daniel Thalmann at the University of Montreal. While this short film does lack immense detail, there is a three-dimensional world in which the film lives, opening up new opportunities for computer animation. The film serves as an early sketch of what the world of computer animation would become.
Out there's a world outside of Yonkers, way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby, out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby.